Not every idea could be your best one. This time, I think we screwed up. How are we gonna fix this one?
No, sir, I don't like it.
We have just been getting after that interior lately. Even though I feel like we should probably be doing something else, something a little more important right now, we are not gonna be moving on from this interior without some sort of big payoff. Wait, we need that open. I wanna get these B-pillars fabricated and wrap all these rear panels we made and the console sides in the upholstery vinyl that it's all gonna be in. We need to start with a clean slate. Too many thoughts and ideas happening right there. Gotta clear the palette, wipe it clean, start from scratch. So this line goes right up to the edge of that door jamb and that pinch. So we're gonna need to cut it back about a ½ inch, but for right now, I'm gonna cut it right on the line. All right, now that we got that cut out, I'm actually gonna trace the panels that we already made onto this. Poster board. Just take that in position. Start drawing out some ideas. Actually, before we get all artsy, let's extend this template all the way up to the headliner. We're gonna have to remove this sooner than later too. Just start with some guesses here, really. I think making some reference marks, like right here, maybe the top of this, the top of the door, the bottom of the door top, probably a good idea. So I know I want to do some sort of triangle in this pillar. Gonna want to bring this door top into the pillar with some sort of suede insert on the door panel here. I want to bring that into the pillar also. I think the bottom of our little triangle design here, I'm thinking it'll look best if it's at the top of this panel. And the end of the top of the door, I think should almost continue into this section, but this will be suede or whatever this is, and then this will be paint like this. Then it just looks too modular. Spot here, and a spot here. I don't know. So I've just been kind of messing around sketching stuff on this poster board here. I think I got something kind of figured out. I think we'll draw it out with a Sharpie now. This silver one. I'm gonna start with silver because if there's something I don't like, we could redraw it with a blue one and then even a red one. Then that'll be easy to differentiate between the different designs. Drink more coffee. Inside of that tape roll worked pretty good. We use whatever we can find around here to get the job done, even a hubcap. So we got the top of the door and the door insert, and they follow that rear panel we already made. Now I kind of want to figure out some sort of triangle in that B pillar, like little sail panel. Probably take it up past the seatbelt bolt here, kind of bring it up to where this thing is. Thinking we'll go a ½ inch in from back here, maybe an inch from the weather stripping on this side, probably to about the top of this. I think the inside of this electrical tape roll will work again for that. That way it'll keep all these corners uniform, similar, almost the same. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put this back in there. That's just in pencil. And then we can just kind of see what it looks like. Give it a bit of a QC. instead of this being equal with the top of this panel, I think maybe it should be the rear window. So more like up here. I think that'll be good. I thought about bringing the top up as high as the window, but then I think it'd be too tall and it would get too narrow at the top of the triangle. So I think we're good there. I'm gonna go ahead and trace that out with a Sharpie. Actually, I'm gonna use a pen. Try to keep that line a little smaller and a little more accurate than a Sharpie will do it. Sharpies are kind of fat. See where I'm going with it? I kind of do. Let's cut this out. Getting jiggy with it. That'll work, it fits good. Now we can cut our little design pieces out of it. So I got this one off the other side, literally by ripping it off. Like that. That was easy. After all that planning to bring all these elements together, I'm not seeing it. Put this curve in there instead of just going down into this one like we talked about, just to see if it would work. It doesn't. In fact, none of this is working for me. I think it's too much coming together all here in one little spot. It looks messy. Not every idea could be our best one. This time, I think we screwed up.
No, sir, I don't like it.
How are we gonna fix this one? We need to make a pivot. We gotta go back, way back. Rewind the tape.
No, go past this part. Try here, stop.
I wanna make the same one again without those cutouts. Reset to where we were happy. Unfortunately, I don't have enough of this 1/8" masonite to make another one. But that's right, because I didn't have enough to do that other side anyway. I had to go to the store regardless. I do, however, have some of this. This is ABS plastic. I'll put a link in my Amazon storefront. Up to this point, we've been using fiberglass resin to make the contours in these panels. And we're gonna need to make some contours up here in the B-pillar too. So I think for the upper part of these B-pillars, we're gonna use this ABS plastic because we can heat it up and mold it into that shape. And we'll just bring that down to about the top of the door. The lower part of the B-pillar, we'll make it, I don't know, probably something more like 3/8 thick. That ABS is an 1/8" thick. So that'll give us a line separation here. And we still might do the triangle cutout here. I'm not mad about that. We'll see. So we're gonna need a heat gun for this. Should probably clean the table too. It's unseasonably warm and humid here. It's awfully early for this. Good thing I like it that way. They probably got schmods. State, county, municipal, offender data system. So we still have this template here. I think we'll just use this and add to it. So here's our line at the top of the door. But we're gonna cut this template quite a bit lower than that. Daisy, hey, come here. Good girl. Ain't she a good dog? How about a super thanks to buy Daisy a treat? Supervisor checked it all over. Good to continue. Hut, 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 hut. So we traced this on here, not because that's our final cut, but just because we're gonna manipulate this one a little bit. So we got our original shape taped on there, and I quickly whipped up this. So that's where that panel needs to meet up with the window. Now I think it's time to use some more tape. So technically, if we took this off as one piece, it would be the outside shape of the upper B pillar that we're trying to find here, right? So we're cutting this area long, so it goes behind those other panels. And this area here where the rear window is, we're not going to cut that out yet either. It's hard to want to follow those goofy lines with the jigsaw because it looks like it's going to be wrong, but we know it should work because we just pulled it out of there. Have faith. We're on a mission from God.
Hit it.
YouTube. So this plastic has a tendency to want to melt back together as you're cutting through it because the saw blade is heating up. That's why I kind of back off every once in a while. It helps keep it cool and cut through nicer. I'm going to warm this up and give it a little pre-bending. Just enough to be able to slide it in here where it's got to go. And we'll be able to fine tune it from there. That's the plan anyway. But we're not doing so hot with the plans coming together thing today. Trying to keep a lot of this heat on the stretching side. Yeah, something like that. So far so good, and a whole lot less messy than that fiberglass. I think we'll grab that heat gun and bring it in here and heat this corner up again. Kind of press it into shape. Paying lots of attention to this upper corner, and back here you can see that we bent it a little too much, so we'll just press that back. This will be real nice on a 100-degree day like today, huh? This should work nice for pressing in that corner. And maybe this and some more clamps. Well, that's real smart, guys. Let's use a plastic ruler to try to hold the plastic that we're heating up to mold. Like the plastic ruler ain't gonna bend. Oh dang, I've been looking for that. Ladies and gentlemen, our shipping and receiving department. My wife, Lindsay. If you received any of artwork or t-shirts, she handled that. Just kind of waiting for that to cool down. Usually only see me out here, but she's a big part of it too. I definitely got to thank her for that and putting up with me. Another behind the scenes player that you haven't met is my oldest son, Caden. He takes my colored pencil drawings and he digital computerizes them. That makes them into something that I can make these out of. It's a family affair, I guess. So that being said, get yourself a cool shirt and support a struggling YouTube channel. All goes to keeping these videos going. So far it's working. Trim the area in the back window and the door jamb. Throw it back in there. All right, so I found the rear window gasket here, and I'm gonna put this in at least halfway, just because I kind of want to see how it wraps into the interior, because that's going to determine where we need to trim that B-pillar panel. God, that thing went right over that panel. How cool would it be if we didn't have to trim it at all, and that rubber gasket just went over our upholstered panel? Did we get that lucky? Probably not. We couldn't even get lucky enough for this piece of plastic to be wide enough. We're gonna have to add something to this corner, I'm noticing. Ah, that'd be nice though. And here in the door jamb, if the weather strip went over that too, that'd hold it together there. All right guys, so check this out. I reached out to a friend of mine in Washington. He's got a Love, and I said, hey dude, you got the weather stripping on your truck? Cause I need to know what goes on the cab side here, because it might be able to hold my B-pillars on. So he sent me a picture, and you know what? I think this is gonna work. It's just like a U-channel, like that edge guard stuff. And you know what? I have a bucket of old trim and stuff, and I pulled this out, and I'm kind of thinking it might even be from this truck. So we're gonna be able to make these panels, and the weather stripping on the front and in the rear window, they're gonna actually help hold it into place, and it'll look really nice and finished. That's exciting. Orange whip, orange whip.
3 orange whips.
Found my baby moons too. Found a bunch of stuff. Oh. This VHS tape is probably from 92, maybe 93, when I first started making videos. We'll have to watch that sometime. Seat belts. Oh dang, I made this in high school. 1996. All sorts of goodies in here. All right, I don't need to be taking you guys down memory lane with me here. Let's get back to work. So this is working out pretty dang good. I'm happy. Do you know what we need to do now is copy this on the other side before we get too far. Then we'll figure out the stupid corner, the lower section of the B-pillar, and the seat belt, and decide if we're gonna do any fancy decorations. All right, let's cut this one out. We're gonna leave it a little wide in the rear window and the door jamb though, because we could trim that out. So here's my thought. I kinda traced the bend from this one on this new one. So we'll do kind of what we did the last one, where we'll do a little preliminary bend. It's actually a little bit more strategic this time because we kind of know where it's gonna be. As far as finding the seatbelt bolt hole, it's right there in our earlier template. Pinger. I'm really hoping that's in the right spot. Should be. I mean, we used our original template and it fit right onto the piece of plastic that we traced the original template on. This one's fitting pretty good right off the bat. We knew that. Just needs a little bit of bending here along the back window. That's pretty much it. I'll let that cool down for a second. Probably gonna take more than a second in this heat. It's hot. I guess while we're waiting for that to cool down, we can kind of figure out what we're gonna do with the bottom portion of these B-pillars. Probably slide this stupid thing back in. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a line along the top of this door into that pillar. Again, things don't work like they do on TV. You gotta do things over and over and over again. So that's where I want to make the separation between the lower part and the upper part while bringing the door panel into it. But we're gonna make it nice and simple. So I went to Home Depot and got a couple pieces of this 1/8 inch masonite, or hardboard people might call it. Call it pegboard without the holes if you want, I don't care. I wanted to get 1/4 inch, but they didn't have any 1/4 inch. But I think that's all right. I think we can make this work and probably be better off. So we're gonna rough cut that, place it in there, trace the door jamb, take it back out, cut it right to that, put it back in, put the upper B pillar on, and see where we're at. Sound like a plan? So here's what I'm thinking here. Here's the top of the door. Here's the top of our rear panel that goes across underneath the window. Now if this doesn't work, we could just cut this straight. But I think I want to try this first. Something like that. My thought is that'll kind of tie everything together without being super complicated or even super obvious, because it's just going to be a little 1/8 inch to maybe 1/4 inch tops, little ledge. Subtle line separation. Not feeling that either. You know what? I think it just needs to be flat. It just needs to be plain. I don't think it needs anything. So here's a mess. I put foil tape, aluminum tape on our pillars here, and then put a little bit of mud in between the gaps just to close them up a little bit. Now I'll take these center panels out, set them aside. We'll finish these B pillars. Since that's our whole goal for right now anyway. I got these two pieces lined up where I want them. Taped them together with a piece of this foil tape. I think we'll take this off and carefully take it over to the bench. Glue it together. Wish I had bigger pieces of this ABS plastic where I didn't have to do this masonite on the bottom. Made it one piece, but you know what? We use what we have around here. And a couple 2-foot pieces, that's what we had. We got some super glue here. We got some accelerator here. We got our two pieces taped together almost like a hinge. So if we open that seam up a little bit, put some of that super glue in there, and then push it back together, we should have one piece. I about super glued my fingers to it. So that actually worked a lot better than I thought it would. We're gonna take the DA with 80 grit paper on it and go over this whole pillar with it, especially where the seam is. Because even though we're wrapping this with vinyl, you'd actually be surprised how much shows from underneath. It doesn't need to be like paint perfect, but it's got to be close. We don't want to see that seam under the vinyl. And besides that, we need to scuff up this plastic so that our glue will stick to it. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Put a couple self-tappers in this brace here. And that's behind this other panel, so you'll never see it. In final assembly, we'll probably end up doing a nut cert on there instead of a self-tapping screw. But for now, this will work out just fine. Put 2 of them in there so we always line it up the same. All right, you know what time it is? Time for our most favorite thing to do, bodywork. Hate body work. You're welcome. Didn't figure you guys wanted to do any body work today, so I went ahead and did it without you. Yeah, it needs to just be plain and flat. What do you guys think? Is plain the way to go? Just picture it all one color. That's what I want to do next. I want to wrap all these panels in vinyl and suede. And I should have that material on Monday. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell because you're not going to want to miss that. And don't forget, pre-orders are open for that Tiki Garage shirt till May 31st. ltscustomgarage.com. And we got some other fun videos like this one. See you out there. I gotta clean this mess.